Hey guys, I'm cmasupra and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 multiplayer video. The game I have for you guys today is quite a good one, and this is just one of those games that is a great example of why I play this game, because this was an awesome game. There was some good infantry combat, some good tank combat, some good tank versus infantry combat, and it wasn't nearly as one-sided as the previous game I showed you guys in the last video, which is probably why you guys didn't like the video as much. I noticed you guys didn't like it as much as you usually like my Company of Heroes 2 videos, so I can assume that it's because it was a rather one-sided game, but this one is nothing like that. It is not one-sided, not as close as the other one was anyways, so this is going to be a good game. So I'm playing as the Germans, my opponent is the Russians, and we are playing on Kholodny Ferma, summer or spring version. It's the one without snow. And as my build order, I have built tier 1 with my one and only Pioneer squad that I spawned with, and I am just building two Grenadier squads, and then I'm going to build an MG, and I don't remember what I built after that. It's either a Mortar or a Grenadier squad. So you can see I've queued up the MG to start building once the Grenadier squad here is finished, and now the MG is building. I have sent my Pioneer squad over to the top of the map here to go capture points, and I am actually doing that because, I guess for multiple reasons. Number one is that the top of the map is an area that doesn't really have a lot of firefighting going on this map. It's normally the middle and the bottom. The second reason is because, well, I guess to extend on the first reason, I don't want my Pioneer squad to get into combat because Pioneer squads suck at combat, even against engineers. So, there we go. That's my first reason. The second reason is because there's a fuel point right up there, and if I can capture the fuel point and hold it early, that would be great, because tanks are what win this game. It's not infantry like it was in Company of Heroes 1, unless you had good tank micro. It is just simply tanks win this game. So my future expansion plans right at the beginning of the game here already are to go and get tanks as quickly as possible and have a real dominance with tanks. So in the middle here, not here actually, but farther up in the very middle of the map, right here, you can see that there's some combat going on. It is a Grenadier squad and an MG42 versus two conscript squads. Now it seems that my opponent has not bought Molotovs, but the fact that I put an MG42 in this building is actually making him buy Molotovs, so I think the thing that he buys, maybe he even buys it right now, I'm not sure when he bought it exactly, but maybe right now. I know that the MG42 I placed in the house convinced him to buy Molotovs, so we will be seeing Molotovs here soon, but it is currently a little bit too early in the game for him to already have Molotovs, so I knew I could safely put the MG in the building right there, even though he has two conscript squads right there. So now you can see that my building is on fire. I try to run away with the MG42. It's at very low health. He has a conscript squad chasing it. Can my MG42 get away? I'm trying to save it by killing off a conscript squad with my grenadiers. The MG42 gets away, and this conscript squad is so doomed fighting two grenadier squads. It does not have a chance of winning. It's just losing men left and right now because they're all at low health, and he retreats, so that is excellent. That is one conscript squad that has retreated, although he did make my MG42 retreat as well. But I don't know where his third conscript squad went. Actually, yes I do. It went to go capture this point right over here. That's where it went off to. So my two Grenadier squads end up fighting another one of his conscript squads, and he runs away, and his conscript squad lives to fight another day. Meanwhile, while all of that has been happening in the middle of the map, my Pioneer squad has been doing exactly what I wanted it to do. It has been capturing points uncontested up at the top of the map. That is the very reason I sent it up there, and it seems that it has paid off. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, sometimes your opponent expects you to send your Pioneer squad up there, and so he sends like a conscript squad or something that's good at fighting up there, and then it doesn't work out at all. But in this case, it has worked out for me, so that is excellent. There is a fight going on here between Grenadiers and a conscript squad. I wonder who's going to win that. I think I ended up shooting a rifle grenade at him. Maybe. Actually, no, I didn't, because I haven't teched up to tier 2 yet, so there's no way I could have done that. Silly me. I do, however, send another Grenadier squad, and it forces him to retreat. He's at low health, and so far, I'm winning in terms of map control and in terms of manpower. This is looking good. I am somebody who is of the belief, even though it doesn't really work in this game as much as it did in Company of Heroes 1, but if you can dominate the early game, you will dominate the rest of the game. So dominating the early game is something I strive to do really hard in this game, even though it doesn't actually work all that well. So my MG42 has been remanned, and as you can see, it's trying to pin this squad. I saw my Grenadier squad is in a rifle grenade on this squad. It is now pinned. The MG42 is on fire. But let's watch the rifle grenade. One shot, 3 kills. That's great efficiency right there. So, he's just lost a full conscript squad. That is a huge pain in the early game, especially, like, just because of, if not because of the manpower, which is the main reason it's a huge loss, just because of the time as well, because now you have to take the time to build another squad, and you've also lost the fighting capability, so the early game here is looking great for me. I've been actually working very hard in the early game. These are not easy infantry fights for me, but it's looking good. It's looking like it'll pay off. This will be a quick game, and I'm just going to win it, and all will be good. However, he then brings out a shock troop squad, as you can see right here. Shock troops are hard to deal with in the early game, but he has picked a doctrine, and it has given him shock troops. So that is definitely something to note, and definitely something to deal with. You might have seen it actually cancel Tier 2 now, because he brought up shock troops, which are quite expensive on the manpower. So I know my opponent is really low on manpower now, and there's no way that he is bothering to tech up. He doesn't have the manpower to tech up. So what he's actually doing is just spending all his manpower on infantry and trying to own my infantry. It seems that he has the same belief of winning the early game will win you the rest of the game. But I'm just going to stop talking about that there. It seems he has the same belief, so he's spending manpower on infantry. That's that. So, yeah, I decided to cancel taking up to Tier 2. I only tech up, or rather teching up to Tier 3 is what I meant to say. So I only tech up to Tier 2, I build Tier 2, and pretty soon here I'll be buying a unit from Tier 2. I believe I build the half-track out of it. I could be wrong, but I believe I build the half-track out of it. This Grenadier squad needs to retreat, that is for sure. There you go. Bye-bye. Here we go. Yeah, I am building a half-track out of Tier 2, so the reason behind the half-track and not going Tier 3 was because of the shock troop squad. Because like I said, I know my opponent does not have the manpower right now to bother trying to tech up, and so a half-track with the flamethrower will be a great addition, especially because his shock troops mean that he does not have any guards rifle infantry in his doctrine. And if he doesn't have guards rifle infantry, he's going to have to do something else to kill the half-track, because my half-track can just own a shock troop squad, even if I don't give it a flamethrower. So he's going to have to find some way to counter my half-track, and that is my goal here, to make him spend the manpower to tech up, or spend the manpower to get some form of AT out on the field. And by doing that, I reduce his infantry capabilities, his infantry fighting capabilities, and so I will hopefully be able to get more of the map by doing that. That is a very weak conscript squad. Good retreat there, guy, Mr. Opponent. This Pioneer squad, that's what it's called, is in a fight with some other squad. I believe it's a conscript squad, and my Pioneer squad is actually winning. Uh-oh, here comes a shock troop squad to kill my mortar. You have to retreat immediately against those, and here comes a half-track to save the day. So, half-track, go kill this shock troop squad. I know you don't have a flamethrower, but go kill it anyways. He is sending his shock troop squad over to my MG42, by the way, in case you didn't notice. So I do turn around my MG42 to face the shock troop squad, but it turned out to be useless because he sent his shock troop squad into the middle of the map instead. And oh wow, that conscript squad barely got away. I think they got away with one man there. So, Panzer Grenadiers out on the field. This is excellent. Panzer Grenadiers are better than shock troops, even though they're cheaper, which makes no sense, but I'll take it. I think the reason is that shock troops come out on the field earlier. I think that's more of the thing, but Panzer Grenadiers do beat out shock troops one-on-one most of the time. Not 100% of the time, because it does depend on some slight situation awareness, not situation awareness, situational conditions, I guess. But most of the time they do win against shock troops, so Panzer Grenadiers, I did buy them specifically to counter the shock troops, just like I bought the half-track specifically to counter the shock troops. So his shock troops should be sufficiently countered by now, hopefully. My opponent doesn't have much of a presence on the field. There is no fighting going on. Of course, I say that, and now there is some fighting going on, including with some shock troops. So I guess my opponent has 2 shock troop squads. This Pioneer squad needs to retreat, retreat, come on! I'm trying to click on him and I was failing, and then he retreats the wrong way. Well, that's annoying. Oh, don't you just hate it when your squad retreats the wrong way, even though it's doing exactly what it was told, and you're just the one who is stupid? So, I have lost my one and only Pioneer squad. I can no longer repair my half-track if it gets damaged without buying a new Pioneer squad. And my plan to have some big tanks later on in the game is not going to work until I buy another Pioneer squad, at least one, preferably two. So I will need to definitely do that. That rifle grenade on this conscript squad was very deadly. Let's send the half-track forward and see if I can cut him off, but then no. The conscript squad shows up, and so half-track backing up because I'm afraid of AT grenades, and Panzer Grenadier squad go in and just own this conscript squad. I am once again doing tons of manpower damage, and he just lost that retreating conscript squad, the one that I was trying to kill initially. So that is excellent. That is another 240 manpower gone for my opponent. Now he is charging, or was charging, with shock troops, but I just backed up my Panzer Grenadiers to the half-track and told the half-track to reinforce them. And the half-track is also something that cannot be easily damaged by shock troops, so the half-track would have won that engagement regardless. So he retreated. He was smart. I do have a pack out on the field now. It was a bit early bought. I wasn't thinking correctly when I bought it. I honestly, the thing that's in my mind about Company of Heroes 2 right now is that tanks win games, and so my opponent is definitely going to be getting a tank soon, a tank of some kind. And currently, the amount of anti-tank I have out in the field is Panzerfausts, and that is it. So I bought a pack, but I didn't think about the fact that my opponent has lost so much manpower at this point that he's probably not doing much teching. So I did buy it early, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry, as long as you don't lose too much infantry presence by buying the pack, because the pack does cost quite a bit of manpower, 360 manpower. Looks like over here we got an engagement that my opponent is guaranteed to lose. It's a Panzer Grenadier squad versus a conscript squad, and a Panzer Grenadier squad versus a shock troop squad, and he definitely retreats out of there. I believe I killed off the whole entire conscript squad, so that's another squad lost for my opponent. He is definitely on the back foot in terms of manpower. The question is he on the back foot in terms of teching? And it appears that no, he actually has an AT gun already. So, you may or may not have seen it, but an AT gun just fired at my Panzer Grenadier squad, the one that was killing off the shock troop squad. And so my opponent definitely has an AT gun, obviously, it shot, and he has teched to tier 3. Either that or his doctrine gave him an AT gun, because I didn't actually look at what kind of AT gun it was. But I can tell you right now that it was not his doctrine, it was his, it was the AT gun in tier 3 for the Russians. So he has teched up to tier 3, and this is a good indication that my opponent actually has been teching, even though he's been losing tons and tons of manpower. So he is aware of the fact that tanks win games, and so he even has his own AT gun, which may have only been to counter my half-track, I don't know, I never will know, but he has AT on the field and he knows he needs it, so that is that. I'm trying to pick a doctrine right now because I'm actually at 6 CPs and I still haven't picked a doctrine, and I pick one that gives me a Tiger tank. I actually have 2 selected that give me a Tiger tank, but I chose this particular one because this one also gives me the mortar and it gives me the fragmentation bombs, and so I figured it would just be a good one to pick. I think my Panzer Grenadier squad there ran over a mine. I could be wrong, but I think they ran over a mine. My opponent was actually really good with mines this game. He used them to great effectiveness. He used them better than I do, and I usually remember to use mines. Well, that's not quite true. I guess I remember to use mines more in Company of Heroes 1 than Company of Heroes 2. I don't really remember to use them in Company of Heroes 2 as much, but I still remember to use them, and I consider myself decent at using them. But he used them far better than I did, that is for sure. Uh-oh, my half-track's getting shot at by an AT gun. That is not good. Back it up immediately. Oh, I am so lucky that second shot missed, or else my half-track would be dead right now. I do move up my MG42 into some green cover, and look at what's coming down by my opponent. My opponent sent down some artillery. You can see it there, it's flames, it's an incendiary barrage my opponent has. Okay, and it's gonna kill off... Wow, the AT gun killed off my Panzer Grenadier squad, I'm pretty sure, and my Vet 2 my Vet 2 MG is probably going to die here as well. Yep, there it goes. Vet 2 MG is dead. I did give my half-track a... my opponent throwing a grenade at my half-track, and that was actually quite effective. I did not expect it to be so good, but it was. But my opponent... or no. I was saying that my half-track is upgraded with the flamethrower now. I did buy the flamethrower when I could afford it, and so I will be using that to great effect this game, hopefully. So now you can tell my opponent was losing on the manpower front. My opponent lost a lot more squads and just overall men in general than I did earlier in the game. And I also had most of the map for a while there, but he has actually pushed me back and is capturing some of the map away from me, and this is not good for me. One thing my opponent did definitely do well this game, and is part of the reason he did so well in general this game, and didn't lose right here and now from all the manpower he lost, is because he captured points away from the fighting. He was really good about that. He was good at multitasking like that. I didn't do so well at that this game. I do have a Panzer IV out on the field now, given it the MG upgrade, and the reason I bought the Panzer IV finally is because I figured that it would tanks are what win this game, and I need some form of AT, and I don't want to take up to tier 4 quite yet and get a Panther, because the Panzer IV just seems like a better buy to me. And I've also picked a doctrine that will give me a Tiger and half a CP, so I need to save my fuel. I need 200 fuel for the Tiger, and 720 manpower for it as well. So I figured I'd just save the fuel, save the manpower, not take up to tier 4. Just get a Panzer IV for now and call it good, because I also have other forms of AT on the field. Well, I have one other form. Well, no, I have multiple forms. I have the pack, and then I have one Grenadier squad. I guess all my other squads did die, and I missed it. But, yeah, I have one Grenadier squad with a Panzerfaust. I can also buy the Panzerschrecks to put on my Assault Grenadiers. And I can plant mines, hopefully. Take note of the fact that I did plant a mine there between the hedges that you saw. Right here, the ones that are on screen. I did plant a mine there, just take note of that fact. Keep it in your head. You'll see why later. And my Panzer IV runs over a mine. That's totally unrelated to the mine that I was going to place, but actually, okay, never mind. I was wrong. Ignore the fact that I was trying to plant a mine, because I just cancelled it by telling my pioneers to go and repair the Panzer IV that now has a damaged engine from the mine. That mine actually did quite a bit of damage. I was surprised at how much damage it did. I just expected a dead engine from a mine, but nope. Oh, that mortar shell was awesome. Oh, half-track chase after the conscript, not the conscript, shock troop squad. Or don't, because they're smart. You know that the enemy has an AT gun. Apparently past me was smarter than present me. I do have 2 Vet 2 units, which is excellent. I sadly did lose that Vet 2 MG42. That was terrible of me. I mean, a Vet 2 MG42 is just awesome. You can't lose one of those and be happy. Oh dear, that must have been one heck of a mine that my Panzer Grenadiers ran over. And now we see a KV-8 from my opponent. Okay, the KV-8's going to the top of the map, so let's face my pack towards the top of the map. Put my pack in a position where it can shoot at the KV-8. So whatever doctrine my opponent has picked is giving him 2 things. Shock troops is one, KV-8 is another, and I guess we've also seen the incendiary barrage, so that's 3 things we've seen from my opponent's doctrine. He has used it to quite good effectiveness this game. I have used a grand total of 0 abilities from my own one. So, yeah, he's doing better than I'm doing in terms of using his doctrine. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's doing better than I'm doing in it. Pioneer Squad is capturing this point. Okay, so here is why I wanted you to remember that I tried to place a teller mine down here. You notice I can't place one down, and I'm looking to see where is the one that I did place. I forgot that I canceled it. So I was looking for it, and I was just like, okay, I don't know why I can't place one. I guess mine is down there, and that's why I can't place it, because it'd be 2 overlapping mines, which is not possible in the game. So I guess I have a mine there, so I can just ignore it, and hopefully I do have one there. If not, then not. My mortar is shelling this MG42 that my opponent has stolen from me. The MG42 is pinning and killing one of my Panzer Grenadier squad, but I was trying to save up the manpower for a Tiger here, so I didn't want to retreat immediately. I also wanted to have a T on the field to counter the KV-8 that is right here and roasting my Panzer Grenadiers. And the KV-8 comes in a way that I was not expecting, so my pack was not perfectly set up, but it does get set up and is able to shoot at the KV-8. Somehow with shooting through the Panzer IV carcass, I was not aware that that was possible, but apparently it is. I also send my Panzer IV in to help kill the KV-8, and he is apparently afraid of my Panzer IV, well, that's good to know. He does not trust his KV-8 as much as I trusted my KV-8 in the previous game. That thing has a ton of armor. Now watch this. Oh, yeah, so that's why I couldn't place my mine. My opponent had a mine there. If only I had remembered that I cancelled my own mine, I would have known that there was an opponent's mine right there, and that's why I couldn't place a mine there. I would have like shot it with the Panzer IV or something to get rid of that mine, but I didn't. I didn't remember that I cancelled my own mine. So I ran over the enemies. So now, out on the field is a Tiger. I saved up enough manpower and fuel, 720 manpower and 200 fuel. And I have a Tiger on the field, and at this point I'm thinking, this is GG, Mr. Opponent. This is totally GG. You have no way to counter a Tiger. You have one AT gun, and you have a KV-8, which cannot penetrate a Tiger at all. So this is GG. Tanks win the game, and I have a tank that is so big you cannot counter it. But, let's just see what happens. My mortar is Vet 2. That is excellent. My mortar is one of the stars of this game. It wasn't like a 50 kill mortar or anything like that, but it was one of the stars of this game. I will say that much. So, well, not really much going on right now. There is one fight here between conscripts and Panzer Grenadiers. Conscripts have no chance, but look at what my opponent is doing. He goes into a house where I have trouble damaging him because machine guns, or full auto guns of any kind, have trouble damaging units in houses. And then he sends over a shock troop squad, so okay, I had to focus on the shock troop squad, and then he uses the distraction to get away, and I tried to focus fire on the conscript squad, the one-man conscript squad, but I wasn't able to win, and sadly now, he gets away to live another day, to fight another day. And now it is half-track plus a one-man Panzer Grenadier squad versus a shock troop squad. And my one-man Panzer Grenadier squad gets reinforced just in time for the last guy remaining to die and another one to spawn. And I killed the shock troop squad after chasing it with my half-track, which is excellent. Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh dear, this is not good. He's gonna switch to his main gun, he's gonna kill my half-track. Okay, time to tell it to go in circles, and I'm gonna send my Panzer IV and my Tiger, or one of them, at least one of them, over here to kill this KV-8. Oh, no. Oh, good, he missed. Yes, good. Keep missing, guy. I want you to keep missing. I'm waiting for my Panzer IV and my Tiger to get over here, whichever one I called. I believe I only called the Tiger. I'm just waiting for it to get over there. I'm trying to save my half-track, and at the same time there's a battle going on in the middle here, and I'm trying to save my units in the middle, and my half-track goes kaput. But his KV-8 is alone. Okay, Tiger, chase down this KV-8 and kill it. I send my Panzer IV to the middle because he has a shock troop squad there, and a shock troop squad cannot damage a Panzer IV. My Tiger is slightly slower than the KV-8, which is no good at all, because I can't chase it down and kill it easily unless I just get lucky. This Vet 2 shock troop squad has one man remaining. I had better finish it off. Come on, Panzer IV, kill it. It doesn't kill it, and I'm not willing to go further into the enemy's base because I'm afraid of an AT gun. And now we go back over to the Tiger, and look at what's here. There's an IS-2, an AT gun, and a KV-8 that I was chasing. So this is not good. I was on the front foot chasing the KV-8, and now I'm on the back foot. So I send down a barrage on the AT gun, so the AT gun is no longer a threat to my Tiger. The AT gun's dead, although it probably can be remanned. It was probably just decrewed. The Tiger is being chased by this IS-2. The Tiger's doing no damage to the IS-2, but the IS-2 is damaging the Tiger. And he gets my cruise, and now the Tiger is a sitting duck. This is not good at all for my Tiger, especially because my Tiger's not doing any damage to this IS-2 at all. So I'm sending over a bunch of infantry. I believe I also sent over my Panzer IV. No, I did not, but I am sending over a bunch of infantry. one of my Panzer Grenadier squads has a Panzerschreck. I believe the other one is currently being upgraded with the Panzerschreck so that I can kill off this IS-2 because my Tiger is not doing it. And then I get his crew, of all things. So now he is the sitting duck. This is excellent. So I take my Grenadier squad and I try to get a Panzerfaust out on him, on his tank, but I am not successful at that, and it's now down to one man. It must retreat. There's no way I'm keeping it in the field with one man against an IS-2. I don't know why his IS-2 recovered from the crew damage faster than my Tiger did, but it did, which sucks for me. I wasn't able to get a Panzerfaust out on the IS-2 and kill its engine so that my two Panzer-Schrecked Panzer Grenadier squads could kill it. But, oh well. The IS-2 is no longer chasing my Tiger. I can repair my Tiger now. I will be building another Pioneer squad, the second Pioneer squad, pretty soon here, so I can repair the Tiger faster. Yep, right now is when I buy it. I currently have one repairing the Tiger, but I want to have two. You should always have two Pioneer squads or two Engineer squads if you have a tank of any kind out on the field. I did have a mortar, my Vet 2 mortar, to capture the middle VP. It's not very often that you send a mortar to go capture a point, but in this case it was my best option, and I don't want to start losing VPs too quickly here, so I had to capture it. My two Panzer-Schrecked Panzer Grenadier squads are together, and I was intentionally keeping them together, because if I separated them, they might get like 2 hits, one with each Panzer-Schreck on the IS-2, but then the IS-2 would just annihilate them. So if I keep them together, they will survive longer, hopefully. And there is a tank incoming, so I prepare them to fight this tank, whatever it is. I make sure they're behind this fence so my opponent cannot see them. I'm doing my best to surprise this tank with 4 Panzerschreck hits on him. And hopefully I will be successful. By the way I saw the tank coming was I saw debris or some other object in the map moving in the fog of war. If you see that happening in the fog of war, you can be pretty assured that there's a tank right there. Especially if you hear the tank. I didn't hear the tank, but I saw it move. And so I was pretty sure that there was a tank over there. 2 Pioneer squads and a Tiger tank actually repair it quite fast. I was amazed at how fast they repaired it. I mean, you can look at the top right corner and see how fast they're repairing it. It's quite fast. Amazingly fast. There's no way I could win this engagement with shock troops versus grenadiers, so let's send my Panzer IV over here and see what I can do with it. Shock troops are going to the VP, it seems, because he doesn't want to lose to VPs. My opponent does only have 148 VPs remaining, so I send my Panzer IV over there, and the first thing I try to do is try to run over his infantry with my Panzer IV. I do end up not messing with my Panzer IV though, because there is action going on in the middle here, and there is an incendiary barrage right there. It takes out the pack crew, so I have to reman that at some point later. My mortar is now Vet 3, which is excellent. Oh dear, there is a conscript squad here. My Panzer IV it now has the damaged engine from the conscript squad. I tell it to focus on the conscript squad. My opponent tries to get a shock troop squad to kill my pioneers, but he doesn't do it. And then, oh no, this is not good at all. Oh dear. Now there's an IS-2 on my Panzer IV. My Panzer IV has no chance of surviving. So I send my 2 Panzer-Schrecked Panzer Grenadier squads to the middle of the map, and I send my Tiger over to help out with my Panzer IV. My Panzer IV is doomed at this point. It has no chance of surviving. But I do send down a barrage on his infantry. He does retreat his infantry, so now the only thing left over there is his IS-2, and it is all alone. It has no support, so if I can get the Tiger over there, even though I had a bad experience with the Tiger versus the IS-2 before, because my Tiger was doing 0 damage to his IS-2 while he was damaging my Tiger, my hope is that the Tiger can still win against the IS-2. The other thing I'm trying to do at the same time is send my Panzer Grenadiers over here to intercept the IS-2 and try to kill it as it's running back to base, in case it is running back to base, because I don't know if it is or not. And they actually find the KV-8, so instead of letting my Panzer Grenadiers roast, I let them shoot 1 shot each with each of the Panzerschrecks into the KV-8 and then run away. I am building another Panzer IV now, and then I cancel it because I'm just like, can you get 2 Tigers at the same time? I've never actually had enough resources and had a game last long enough to find out. So let's find out now. I may end up losing this game as a result of trying to find this info out, but I don't care. I want to find out if you can have multiple tigers. And we'll have to see if I am able to have multiple tigers or not. So I send out my tiger versus this IS-2, and my tiger's actually doing damage now. It's amazing. I recruit the pack with one of my grenadier squads, and I send the other one to go Panzerfaust the IS-2, so that the pack has longer to shoot at it, because the IS-2 will have a damaged engine. And I send my tiger to also shoot at the IS-2. The pack is shooting at the IS-2, doing lots of damage, actually. A Panzer Grenadier squad is here with Panzer Shreks, shooting at the KV-8. And the KV-8 backs off because he knows he's way out of his territory here. The IS-2 is backing up. It is very low on health. The KV-8 comes back in. My pack is Vet 2 now. And then my opponent's KV-8 roasts the pack, so I have lost another Vet 2 unit. Excellent. I'm not sure if I killed the IS-2 or not. I mean, I probably did, and that's how my pack got to Vet 2 before it died, but I don't know that I killed it. So I go chasing after the KV-8, because killing the KV-8 would actually be better for me than killing the IS-2, because the KV-8 will kill my infantry, and I need my infantry in order to kill the IS-2, so I need to kill the KV-8 more than I need to kill the IS-2. So here I go chasing after the KV-8, I find it, it is very low on health. Let's chase after it with the Tiger. It didn't work so well last time, but this time the KV-8 is at very low health, and I should be able to kill it before it gets away, and I successfully do. However, there's an AT gun firing at my Tiger, so I take the long way. I try to go as far away from my opponent's point of, or his view. I try to get as far away from his view as I can, so he doesn't shoot my Tiger as I send my Tiger back to my HQ. However, he does send a conscript squad over. He's trying to damage my engine. That's obviously his intent here. And I'm trying to run away. He can't get any closer to me, so this is good. So he stops chasing me. The AT gun stops shooting me. And I have just killed a KV-8 and potentially an IS-2, not IL-2. I don't know if I did or not, though. Looking at the game right now, look at the VPs. I have 0 VPs on the map. My opponent has taken all 3 while that tank fighting was going on. This is not good. Like I said, my opponent was just really good at capturing points away from the fighting this game, and I am not that good at doing it. He was far better at multitasking than I was, and that's the reason for lots of my downfalls this game. I do also have another Tiger out on the field. I did buy a second one. I was just like, yay, I can buy a second Tiger. Okay, now it's GG, Mr. Guy. I have 2 Tigers. I mean, you couldn't kill my first one, and now I have 2. So, you lose. Hooray, it's over. Game over. Now the game will be over pretty soon once I capture these VPs. I just don't have much infantry to capture them with. So, I will need to work on that at some point. But, this should be GG, right? I have 2 Tigers on the field. I mean, that's insane. Oh, hello there, KV-8. Try to send a Panzerfaust in it, and I can't because I'm getting roasted and I gotta retreat. So yeah, just run away, Grenadier Squad, and that they do, and they survive. I didn't send either of my Tigers after that not Panzer IV. I didn't send either of my Tigers after that KV-8. Because I didn't know what my opponent had behind there. I assumed there wouldn't be an AT gun, because my opponent hasn't really moved his AT guns out of the middle very much this game, but I figured I should just be safe and not put a Tiger over there killing the KV-8. I did, however, kill a shock troop squad, and it was a vetted one. I think it had vet 2 or 3, I don't know. I didn't look close enough, but it had a decent amount of vet, and I just owned it with my Tigers, so that was awesome. Once again, my opponent is losing manpower. So now I send in this Panzer Grenadier squad in to kill the KV-8, and they get down to 1 man. They barely make it out of there. That would have really sucked if they didn't, because they are Vet 3. That's a Vet 3 Panzer Grenadier squad with Panzer Shreks. Those Panzer Shreks are going to be insanely accurate and do a ton of damage. I would really like to keep the squad alive if possible, so yeah, just retreat when necessary. My Tiger didn't actually chase after the KV-8. I guess I was still being smart because I didn't know what was back there. There is still a pack here sitting in the middle of the map that I do want to reman, but I don't really have anything to reman it with. I don't want to reman it with a Panzer Grenadier squad, and I don't want to reman it with a Pioneer squad because I need both of those alive. The Panzer Grenadiers need to kill tanks, while the Pioneer squads need to repair my tanks as they get damaged. I don't want to take the time to reinforce them if I can avoid it. So a Grenadier squad would be a good thing to reman the pack with, but I only have one. So that's not good. My mortar is Vet 3, by the way. I know I already mentioned it, but it's Vet 3 and it's sitting at half health, which is not a good thing. You don't want to be at half health. Half health is terrible. Even if you have all 4 men. Oh dear. Okay. KV-8's over here. Retreat! Retreat! Come on, Panzer Grenadier Squad, why am I doing this to you? Retreat! Retreat! And I pay for it. Why did I not retreat? I don't even know why I didn't retreat. I regretted it afterwards when I was playing the game. I was just like, wow, I really lost a Vet 2 Panzer Grenadier Squad for no good reason there. That was stupid of me. So I go chasing after the KV-8 with a Tiger. And it's looking like I'll be able to kill the KV-8 before it gets away, because I was able to take a shortcut from it and get between it and its base. But now my Tiger's being slow and the KV-8 is not being quite as slow, so it's questionable. But then he stops moving, like, what? And then I abandon it, and I consider remanning it, but I'm just like, no. Okay, Tiger, yeah, kill it. I chose not to reman it, and I thought that the KV-8 was now dead, but as you can see, it's still recruitable. I was wrong. I thought I had killed it, but it's not dead. It's still alive. So that was a mistake I made. That was a pretty bad mistake. Excellent. Rifle grenade. Looks like I'm going to be winning that fight, and hello there, AT gun. I am charging you with both of my Tigers, and oh, you have 2 AT guns. Well, okay, I'll just get behind both of them. Hello. I am going to own you, and I even send down a barrage on top of those AT guns, and I decrew both of them, which is excellent. My opponent does kill the Grenadier squad, but we're not too worried about that right now. And here is an IS-2. Is it the same one as before? I don't know. I don't know if it's the new one or the same one, because I don't know if I killed the previous one or not, but it's an IS-2. I do have 2 Tigers, which I can hopefully beat an IS-2 with, but I have 1 Tiger that's at a little bit of damage, which is not good against an IS-2. You want as much health as you can have. And the other one has a dead engine and is barely moving. Yeah, so it's just slowly moving up here. Eventually it'll reach the battlefield. It is shooting at an MG though. And then here comes the IS-2. He's trying to kill off this one weak Tiger. I know that's what he's trying to do, but I am sending in reinforcements. I have 2 Pioneer squads coming to fix the engine on the Tiger with the dead engine, and the other Tiger is at less than half health now. But I do have a Panzer Grenadier squad here to hopefully save the day. The MG is dead just in time for my Grenadiers to not get pinned. And now I can go attack this IS-2 hopefully. So I'm repairing the 1 Tiger. And once it's fully repaired, which shouldn't take too long with 2 Pioneer squads repairing it, they can repair the other Tiger while the first Tiger and the Panzer Grenadier squad go kill the IS-2. This is looking quite good now. I've also cut off my opponent from the bottom fuel point, not the top one. He still has access to the top one, but not the bottom one, now that I've cut him off, which is excellent. I don't want him to get the fuel to buy more IS-2s. That would be terrible. IS-2s and KV-8s. So my opponent is definitely fully aware at this point that he's up against 2 Tigers, and he immediately regrets sending in his KV-8 there. Because I guess he thought I had moved away, even though I hadn't. I don't know what he was thinking, but he immediately regretted it and backed away, and I did not give chase because my Tiger is being repaired, and the KV-8 would have just owned my Panzer Grenadier squad, so I shouldn't chase with that. In terms of VPs, I'm about to have 2 VPs here, which will be excellent, but my opponent did actually take me down to 199 victory points. I was up at like 490 or something like that, and he took me down about 200 points, I guess. So my opponent did have all 3 VPs for quite a while, and it did him a lot of good. This incendiary barrage was just crazy good. Like, I did not think it would be that good, but it just owned one of my Pioneer squads, and the other one had 1 man left with very little health. So my Tiger is no longer being repaired, but I do have it at it has most of its health, so that's good. I also still have my other Tiger and 2 Panzer Grenadier squads with Panzer Shreks. So I have plenty of AT on the field, and the fact that one of my Tigers is slightly lower on health is not too big of an issue now. So I know where my opponent has a KV-8 and an IS-2. It's like right outside his base, and I could go charging with both of my Tigers, but I'm choosing not to. I'm questioning whether or not I really should charge, and right now I'm choosing not to charge. The reason for that is just because I don't know what's behind the IS-2. He could have an AT gun, he could have 10 AT guns, not really. There's no way he could have 10 AT guns, but you get the idea. I don't know what's back there. It's been a while since I killed the AT guns with the incendiary barrage that I used quite a bit earlier. So he could have built new ones by now. I don't know. I don't know what my opponent has been doing. I don't want to go charging too blindly. I am pretty confident that my Tigers will be able to kill whatever is back there, but I don't want to go risking it. I want to just win this game nice and steady. I do have 2 of the VPs out of the 3, so I will win given enough time. So let's just try to win nice and steady. I don't know what my opponent was doing with this KV-8 over here. I guess he was trying to get behind the Tiger, but that didn't work out so well for him at all, because I have Panzerschrecks over there in addition to the Tiger. So I sent in the other Tiger, he decided to attack me, it didn't work out well for him, so now I'm attacking him. And here we have a great big tank battle. 2 Tigers, and I kill the IS-2 first, because it's the most danger to my Tigers. There we go, IS-2 dead. Next focus on the weaker of the KV-8s, and then the other KV-8 finally, and we should be good to go. My Pioneers are repairing one of my Tigers in the field, which is quite funny. You don't do that very often and succeed at doing that. But my opponent does say GG, and I say GG back to him, really GG, because it was quite a good game. It was a very fun game as well. Nice infantry battles, nice tank battles, and nice tank versus infantry battles as well. But at this point, my opponent has lost. And he knows it, and I knows it. I don't have all 3 VPs yet. I am actually sending a mortar, once again. My mortar is going to be a star of a show. He already captured 1 point this game, 1 victory point. He's off to capture another one right now. He's capturing the top VP right now, so he will have captured 2 victory points this game. I would not say that he's the reason I won this game at all, but he's capturing 2 VPs this game, and he's vet 3 and has killed quite a lot of infantry, so he is definitely a star. Why did I win this game? It's for a lot of reasons, in my opinion. I mean, it was the Panzer Grenadiers with their Panzerschrecks, each of the Tigers helped out, the mortar helped out a lot. It's just combined arms that really won me this game. My opponent is throwing grenades at my Tiger. That's something you can do, I suppose, if you're as desperate to try and kill a Tiger. I'm pretty sure it would take like 50 grenades, and the cost of a grenade is quite high. I don't know what it is, but it's quite high to spend 50 of those on. So it's quite the waste, but it's just for fun at this point. He knows he's lost, I know he's lost. He can throw grenades at my Tiger. I even stopped so that he could throw the grenade at my Tiger. So, yeah. I'm now owning his base, and all is good. I killed the MGs first before the base building because I wanted to get my Panzerschrecked Panzer Grenadiers in here. And now that the MGs are dead, I will be able to send my Panzerschrecked Panzer Grenadiers in here just to finish off the buildings. I do have all 3 VPs. My opponent has 15 points left. The game is clearly over. In fact, right now my opponent has 0 remaining units. He has nothing left out on the field except for his buildings, and that's just it. My mortar's off at the top of the map, capturing points like a boss. Just as my Panzer Grenadiers get to the HQ, the game is over, and my opponent says no, or something like that. Victory is ours. Except that's not what the game said. I think the game said I don't know, it said something about the fatherland. I don't know. Got to rank 80, finally. And let's view the battlefield. So as you can see, looking at the minimap, my opponent had absolutely nothing on the field left except for MG bunkers and his HQ. That was it. He had 0 units left on the field. That was quite a good game. Like I said, I know I've already said it, but lots of good infantry fights, lots of good tank fights, and lots of good fights between infantry and tanks, so quite the good game, and I believe that this makes up for what a lot of you thought was a bad game, or bad video, last video, so I think it makes up for it. Hopefully you guys agree, and hopefully you enjoyed it. But that is going to do it for this game, so I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.